guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. So today we are doing the very first TBR of 2025. This video is going to be a little bit rushed because I meant to film it earlier, but I got a little bit sick and was in hospital. It's just messed with me a little bit, but I have picked out 6 books that I've decided that we're going to read. Some of them are currently books that are on the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. So we're just going to get straight into books that I have picked. And the first one that I have picked is actually one that I have started reading because I am filming this in January. And that is Kisses and Croissants by Anne-Sophie. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her surname because I will completely butcher it. But this book is one of the books that I want to read in 2025. So I have put it on that challenge. We do focus on our main character, Mia. She applied to go to this ballet school in Paris and she was successful. So the book starts with her traveling to Paris and she's going to, I guess, this like, I don't know if it's like a summer program or what, but basically ballets, you know, in her family history, her dad and grandmother are super supportive, mum not so much. So she basically just goes to Paris for the summer, is in this ballet program, and she also meets this French man who is Louis. And I guess he's just going to show her around the city, I guess the city of love, and it's just going to be, I'm hoping, a cute little rom-com. I have started it, but I'm like 10 pages into it, so nothing too in-depth. We're literally just traveling to the college where she's meant to be staying, so not a whole lot I can say about it, but I'm just hoping for an easy, fun, light-hearted read with this one. And I have no idea when I purchased this book, so I just want to desperately get it off my TBR cart. And then book 2 I have randomly decided to pick up, apparently, is The Glass Spare by Lauren Di Stefano. We're not going to talk about how long this one has also been on my TBR cart. I don't actually know a lot about it. I'm really hoping that it is also a standalone so that I don't have any more books to add to my TBR cart, but I can't even pronounce the main character's first name. It's like Wilhelmina. They call her Will, so we're gonna go with that. She's the 4th child and only daughter of the king of the world's wealthiest nation. She's also grown up in shadows. She's been kept hidden from the world in order to serve as a spy for her father, who's got an obsession with building his empire and causing wars. Will wants nothing more than to explore the world beyond her kingdom, if only her dad would let her. One night, Will is attacked and she discovers a dangerous secret. Her touch turns people into gemstones. Oh, that's cool. So she's horrified by this power, but she's wanting to test her limits, and she's drawn more and more to her strange and volatile ability. It does lead to a tragedy, however. She must face the destructive force within her and finally leave home to seek the truth and a cure. Finding the key to her redemption puts her in the path of a cursed prince who has his own ideas for what to do with Will's power. With a world on the brink of war and a power of ultimate destruction, can Will find a way to help the kingdom that's turned its back on her, or will she betray her past and her family forever? Sounds intriguing. I'm not too sure who The Glass Spare is supposed to refer to because she's the 4th child. I'm hoping this is just a standalone little fantasy novel, but I'm pretty sure it's been on my TBR since like 2021, 2022. But also, if it is part of a series and I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to be inclined to pick up the sequel because I don't currently own it, and it's just going to be easier for me to get through. Now, book 3 is one that I started reading. I'm not too sure if I started reading it I don't think I started reading it in 2024, so maybe I started reading it in 2023, and I took out my bookmark. I got maybe 30 pages through it, wasn't vibing with it, put it down, haven't picked it up since. And I've actually put it on the list of 25 books I want to read in 2025, and that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. So yeah, like I said, I started reading it and I just don't know if I wasn't in the mood for like a romance at the time, but it just wasn't meeting my vibes, so I did put it down and I haven't picked it up since, but I do want to get it read, or I want to make the final decision to DNF this book. I do know there are a whole heap of other books in the series, I guess like they're standalone ones, but this one does focus on obviously our main character, Delilah. She never wants to return back to her small town of Bright Falls. She currently lives in New York, has a photography career that's finally gaining some traction, and her bed is never empty. She's got a different woman every night, and that's just fine with her. Delilah's estranged stepsister ends up pressuring her into being the photographer of her wedding. So Delilah unfortunately finds herself back at Bright Falls, and her plan is to just breeze in and out. But then she sees Claire Sutherland, her stepsister's stuck-up bestie, and decides that maybe there's some fun to be had after all. So as a busy single mother, Claire depends upon a life without surprises, and Delilah Green is obviously going to be a very unwelcome surprise. They're basically forced to spend time together during a lot of wedding preparations, and Claire isn't sure that she has the strength to resist resist Delilah's charm. And even worse, she's starting to find out that she's resisting it. So yeah, like I said, I got 30 pages in. If that, I think Delilah was currently betting one of her many different women, and I just wasn't in the mood for it, so I put it down. Obviously, this one's Delilah, and that's Claire. So look, we're gonna give this a go and just see what I think. If I'm still not really enjoying it once I get kind of past the 30-page mark, I may just make this an actual DNF for me, but we're gonna give it a go this month. And then book 4 is a book that I purchased in 2024 that I did not get a chance to read last year. So I've carried over about 4 books that I purchased and then 1 book I was gifted into 2025, and I want to make it a priority for myself that I get these 5 books read, just because I want to be getting books and reading them as I purchase them, and I don't want to be having books sitting on my TBR for years and years, because that's what's happened with the bulk of my TBR, and I want to stop that for myself. So that book that I'm talking about is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I actually received a special edition of this book. It was stunning. The blurb sounded okay, but I didn't really know anything about it and decided that I didn't want it, and I sold it. Decided the book actually sounded kind of cool, and I'm low-key hoping that I'm not obsessed with it, because I might be mad at my past self for selling the special edition. But this book focuses on Effie. She's always believed in fairy tales because since her childhood, she's been haunted by visions of the Fairy King, and she's basically found solace in the pages of this book, which is a beloved epic tale about a mortal girl who falls in love with the Fairy King and then destroys him. So are we going to kill the Fairy King? Because I'm on board. So Effie is currently at a prestigious architecture college, and the late author's family announces a contest to design his house. She feels certain it's her destiny. She applies for it. It's at a manor, and it's quite an impossible task because it's a musty, decrepit estate on the brink of crumbling into a hungry sea. And when Effie arrives, she finds she isn't the only one who's made a temporary home there. We've then also got Preston, who's a young literature scholar. He's studying the papers that this author has written, and he's determined to prove that her favorite author is a fraud. So they basically become rivals, and they take it upon themselves to investigate the reclusive author's legacy. They discover that the house's foundation isn't the only thing that can't be trusted. There are dark forces, both mortal and magical, conspiring against them, and the truth may bring them both to ruin. Just sounds epic. I'm excited to read it, pick it up. Like I said, I don't want to carry this book very far into 2025 because I did purchase it in the second half of last year, so I definitely need to get this one read. And then book number 5 is actually a special edition because I don't have the paperback, and it is The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. This is the Afterlight special edition. They're the romance book subscription box that Illumicrate do. I actually forgot to cancel my subscription. Normally I skip the monthly boxes. I kind of get one here and there just so that I'm still subscribed, so that I can get my Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry books in the early access sales. So I accidentally forgot to cancel this, and then I saw pictures of The Breakup Pact and I went, wow, that book's stunning. Like, I wish I knew that that's what the previous month's book was, because I would have bought it. I got my months mixed up, and when I opened the Afterlight book box, it was actually this one that was in there, which was super exciting because it is stunning if you can't tell. But what really sold it for me was that the front and end papers are like news articles, like online, and sorry, I'm holding it really far away, but they just look absolutely stunning. So I do want to read this. I've actually never read any of my special edition books. Normally for me, special edition books are just pretty ones that I put on my shelves and I don't do anything with them. But basically we do focus on our 2 main characters, June and Levi, who were best friends when they were teenagers. June is now struggling to make rent on her beachside tea shop, and Levi is living a New York cliche as a disillusioned hedge fund manager and failed novelist, and they've basically never really spoken in the last couple of years. But they both end up experiencing quite public, humiliating breakups that spread like wildfire online. A photo of them together has the internet convinced they're actually a couple. So with so many people rooting for them, they decide to put aside their rocky past and make a pact to fuel the fire by pretending to date, because the purpose of this will make June's shop stay open and make Levi's ex realize what a mistake she has made. So all they have to do is now convince the world that they are in love, one swoon-worthy photo op at a time. And once that's all sorted, they're going to go their own way. But yeah, it just sounds really super cute and fun. It was actually a book that I wanted to purchase last year. I have read a couple of Emma Lord's books, not a huge fan, but they were a lot of like YA sort of ish novels. This is more an adult fiction novel, so I want to give that a go and just see whether I prefer her writing when she writes adult romances. But yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go and just see what happens and read a special edition book that I've never done before. That'll be novel. And then the sixth and final book is also one that is on my 25 books that I want to read in 2025, which is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I have had this book on my TBR cart for 2 or 3 years. I don't want to investigate it further than that, except that it's been on here a really long time. I also have the sequel Bloodmarked, which is also one of the 25 books I want to read in 2025. The third book, Oathbound, is actually coming out this year. So that's also part of the reason why I haven't picked this book up, because I do believe that it's a trilogy. I could be wrong. So when I found out that the third book was coming out early this year, I kind of made the decision that I wasn't going to pick up Legendborn because I wanted to just kind of read all 3 books together. I just want to jump into this world and see what it's like. I've been told it's like the Mortal Instruments cross another book series. I can't remember what the book series is though. I'm going to read off from the blurb again because I'm not very well today. But basically we have our main character is 16-year-old Bree. Her mother dies in an accident and she just wants to escape her life. So a residential program for bright high schoolers seems like the perfect opportunity until she witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. Basically a flying demon feeding on human energies. We have a secret society of so-called Legendborn that hunt the creatures down, hence why it's Mortal Instruments cross something else. A mysterious mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts and fails to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. I'm gonna take a guess before reading any further on the blurb that she becomes one of the Legendborns because she's got magical powers, and that's probably why she was able to see the entire thing. So the mage's failure actually unlocks Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory from the night her mother died. Now Bree will do whatever it takes to discover the truth, even infiltrate the Legendborn. But when the Legendborn reveal themselves as the descendants of King Arthur's knights and foretell a magical war, Bree must decide how far she'll go for the truth. Should she use her magic to take the society down or join the fight? Sounds like an epic fantasy series. I've only heard positive things online. I'm kind of intrigued to dip my toes into this world and see what I think of it. I'm just going to read the first one, and then depending on how much I enjoy it, I do have the second book ready to go and read if I do choose to pick it up. But I didn't want to read both in a month because I like to split my fantasy series up. That worked really well for me in 2024, so I kind of want to continue with reading like 3 romance novels and then 3 fantasies a month and split up my series because it seems to work well for me. So there we go, guys. They are the 6 books that I do want to read in January of 2025. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts down below. I'm intrigued to give these ones a read and see how the month goes. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next week for the actual final reading wrap up of 2024. Bye guys.